This is a very good question.
Yeah.
And I just want to really focus on the downstream handling, right? And that everyone is aware of the Latrobe Valley hydrogen supply chain project, and that's the focus, right? So it's just making sure that it's a fully integrated in raw materials input, process technologies, and storage handling and end customer. So we look at it across that entire value chain, right? So no, I'm not concerned. Okay, $2, and then add to that the fun and games of handling liquid hydrogen at minus 253 degrees C. So and plus, as I've said to you, we've actually had, and I heard the discussion about hub. Way we see it is, and we've also applied for some grant funding around this, is that blue hydrogen plants, there's a role for, or blue ammonia plants, let's say, for them to actually transition and become hubs where you've got green hydrogen, and it might be satellites, right? Small satellite plants, in a way that you can actually be getting that into the export market. I think the other thing that we haven't discussed yet is the scale of supply into the export markets we're talking about here. I mean, we're talking going from 70 million tonnes per annum to 700 million tonnes per annum. It doesn't matter. Look, everybody's got a different view on that. I'm not a problem with what that number is. But I do say to you, it's enormous. It's an enormous number. So that scale, because I'm not, when someone said to me about the $2, scale up and actually really large scale plants. I actually got something in one of the questions that I'm expecting you to ask me, which is all about finding the right renewables locations for that scale, for the raw inputs from a green hydrogen perspective. And you still have this issue of, even in Australia with, solar irradiance, it's basically inland, it's all about weather and all that sort of jazz, and where all the population is and where the export ports are, you've still got significant quantities of infrastructure. So I think if you kind of look at all the inputs, which is what we do, and understand whether that's raw materials and operating cost wise or capex, and whether you're actually, as a first mover, you are paying a disproportionate amount of the cost to build the port, to build the CCS pipelines, to build, to essentially get your project, to build the water supply. You're the first mover. So you have got a disproportionate amount of cost on top of it. So I know you said right at the get-go, Merrill, you were talking about cost. Investing in a commercial return, and huge market, and you've got to get in.